Good evening, Nigeria. In a bold and controversial move that has ignited fresh debate ahead of the 2027 general elections, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has firmly rejected calls for the opposition to zone the presidential ticket to the south. Atiku's camp argues that fielding a southern candidate against President Bola Tinubu would amount to political suicide. Instead, the former presidential candidate is keeping his eyes firmly on the 2027 prize, describing it as his final attempt at the presidency. Top Accolade News brings you all the details. The storm began after Atiku's media office, their spokesperson Olusola Sani, issued a strongly worded statement warning major opposition parties, including the Nigeria Democratic Congress (NDC) and others, against restricting their presidential ticket to the south. According to the statement, no southern opposition candidate can realistically defeat a sitting southern president like Bola Tinubu. The Atiku camp describes such a move as self-defeating and intellectually dishonest, insisting that politics must be driven by strategy and hard electoral arithmetic, not sentiment or zoning emotions. The statement further noted that by 2027, the South would have held the presidency for about 18 years in the Fourth Republic, compared to the North's 10 years, challenging the narrative that power should automatically return or remain in the South. This position has sparked immediate backlash from several Southern leaders and political groups who accuse Atiku of undermining the zoning principle and pushing a Northern agenda for personal ambition. Atiku Abubakar, who recently purchased nomination forms, has repeatedly described the 2027 election as his last show. The 79-year-old politician believes he remains the strongest opposition figure capable of building the necessary coalition to challenge the ruling All Progressives Congress. Sources close to Atiku say he is currently strengthening alliances across the country, particularly in the north and parts of the Middle Belt, while keeping communication lines open with key political figures. Political analysts, however, are divided. Some argue that Atiku's stand may fracture the already fragile opposition coalition, especially with prominent southern voices like Peter Obi and others gaining traction. Others believe Atiku is playing realistic politics, pointing out that incumbents are rarely defeated by candidates from the same region. Let's take a look at reactions pouring in from across the country. In response, some southern politicians have warned that Atiku's position could deepen divisions within the opposition. A chieftain of the African Democratic Congress (ADC), where Atiku currently holds sway, described the statement as a strategic reality check. Meanwhile, critics say Atiku should step aside to allow fresh candidates from the south to rally support against Tinubu. Supporters of Atiku, however, insist he has the experience, structure, and national spread to mount a formidable challenge. This development comes as opposition parties continue to realign and reposition themselves ahead of party primaries expected later this year. The ruling APC is watching these cracks in the opposition with keen interest. As the 2027 political chess game intensifies, Atiku Abubakar has clearly drawn a line in the sand, rejecting any southern presidency push and keeping his presidential ambition alive. Whether this bold stance will unify or further fragment the opposition remains to be seen. One thing is certain, the battle for 2027 has truly begun. Top Accolade News will continue to monitor this story as more reactions emerge.